Science shouldn't feel like a closed door. Welcome to Human Verified, your backstage pass to the world of high-stakes research and the business of staying alive. My name is Gina Winchester, a Native American scientist, professor, author, and I've created this space where we swap dense academic jargon for fresh, no-nonsense insights. Whether I'm deconstructing pharmaceutical breakthroughs, clinical trials, or the how this is legal side of STEM business, I'm here to bridge the gap between the lab bench and your daily life. It's rigorous research met with real-world storytelling because understanding how science works is the ultimate power move. I'm gonna Swaggify Human Verified. Adventures in online mom and pops. Through Human Verified, I explore the intersection of science, healthcare, business, and the legal landscape. Along with my consulting, writing, and professional pursuits, my expanded goal is to take those complex concepts and unique imagery and turn them into something tangible. A swag line that truly inspires. I want to build this small business on my own terms, keeping that human verified perspective at the forefront of everything I create. While the neuroscience behind how we shop and the legal ins and outs of running a digital storefront are fascinating, I'm choosing to dive into those deep topics later on. For right now, I'm focused on a simpler question. What does the modern mom and pop shop look like in 2026, and how does it thrive? The neighborhood stores I remember from childhood have evolved. Today, commerce is a hybrid world, blending physical storefronts with digital presence. But even as the tools of the trade have grown from shop windows to social media feeds and AI assistants, the spirit of the small business hasn't gone anywhere. It has just learned to adapt. My mission is to explore how these shops function today, honoring that enduring, human-centered tradition while we find our footing in this expanding digital mall. The mom and pop shop. A mom and pop shop is a small business that trades the scale of a corporate chain for personalized service and deep roots. Before the internet turned shopping into a global, instant activity, these stores were the heartbeat of towns, serving as unofficial community hubs. Whether you were at the grocery, the pharmacy, or the hardware store, you went to catch up on neighborhood news or share a conversation with the owner. You weren't just a customer, you were a neighbor. Owners knew your name, your family, and your preferences, often setting aside your favorite products or giving you a heads up on new arrivals. This level of care created a trust that massive, faceless department stores simply couldn't replicate. The world felt much smaller then, because your choices were limited to what was actually in front of you. If you needed something specific, you had to visit the store, making these local experts truly indispensable. You relied on their advice because you could look them in the eye and ask for help. If something went wrong, you knew exactly who to talk to, and the owner took personal pride in making it right. Back then, a business owner's reputation was their most valuable asset, and that face-to-face accountability kept our local economies strong and tight-knit. The relationship was built on trust. The digital shift, 2010 to 2020. Starting around 2010, the landscape began to change rapidly. As smartphones became common and internet speeds improved, shopping moved from the sidewalk to the screen. The early hurdles. During this decade, local businesses faced a growing problem. People started using their phones to compare prices while standing right inside a shop. Big retailers like Amazon turned 2-day shipping into the new normal, making it incredibly hard for local shops to compete on speed or price. The tools of the trade. At first, setting up an online store was expensive and technically difficult. By the mid-2000s, turnkey platforms like Shopify made it much easier for small business owners to sell online without needing a degree in computer science. Still, many local shops resisted or struggled to keep up, often viewing the internet as a threat rather than an opportunity. The turning point, 2020 and beyond. Then came 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic acted like a fast-forward button for the entire retail world. Shops that had no online presence were forced to either digitize overnight or shut down. This created a permanent shift in how they operate. To survive, shops leaned into new digital tools. They started using local delivery apps, setting up websites, and managing their inventory online. The digital divide, which is the gap between those who knew how to use these tools and those who didn't, became a survival issue. Businesses learned that they didn't need to be giants to compete. They started using platforms like Instagram and TikTok to show the human verified side of their business, sharing behind-the-scenes videos of how products were made or introducing the families behind the store. This authenticity became their secret weapon, allowing them to connect with customers well beyond their neighborhoods. This shift has actually forced many businesses to bring back those classic mom-and-pop qualities that had started to fade over the last 20 years. While shopping on massive marketplaces like Amazon can feel huge and a bit impersonal, shopping on social platforms feels much smaller, friendlier, and more tailored to you. Choosing the social approach versus the broader retailer brings us full circle. Thanks to algorithms that learn exactly what you like and live streaming sessions where you can chat in real time with the people actually making and or selling the products, shopping has regained that personal touch. It's essentially the return of the local neighborhood shop, just updated with a modern social media twist. Today, shopping has become a perfect blend of digital efficiency and a human-centered experience. We are seeing this hybrid approach everywhere. Take, for example, the convenience of ordering your items online and having them waiting for you at the curb, or the way social media shops bring more personal, curated feel to your digital browsing. Even massive companies like Amazon have bridged this gap by connecting their processes with Whole Foods, creating an organic grocery experience that feels both high-tech and personalized. Ultimately, shoppers today get the best of both worlds, the lightning-fast speed and endless variety of the digital world, matched with the thoughtful, personal touch we used to only find at the corner store. The current reality. Today's local businesses are in a tough spot, balancing rising costs and intense global competition. Yet, the mom-and-pop spirit is resilient. The shops thriving in 2026 are those that have mastered being local in person while acting global online. They know that while the tools have evolved from storefront windows to social media feeds, the secret to success remains building genuine relationships. Shopping today is a smart, integrated service. Instead of hunting through endless lists, we now use AI assistants that understand our needs, compare prices, and handle the heavy lifting. This shift is fueling a massive boom in the small business market, which is expected to hit nearly $120 billion this year. With over 90% of small businesses using social media, we've entered the age of social commerce. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram have blended shopping with entertainment, putting products just one tap away, with global social commerce projected to reach $2.6 trillion. This is where the action is. We're also seeing digital tools like augmented reality help you see how a couch fits in your room, or the ability to try on glasses virtually, reducing returns. Meanwhile, sustainability has become a core expectation. Shoppers now demand transparency regarding how products are made and shipped. If a business isn't honest about its environmental impact, many customers quickly move on. Essentially, shopping now functions like a traditional marketplace with three distinctly different vibes. The first vibe is discovery, which happens on social media. People are there to be entertained, and when your video catches their eye, it creates a push sale. This is vital for the under 35 crowd, as 60% find new products this way. It's perfect for storytelling and building a loyal fan base. This is something I'm focused on building. I want my story and my other pursuits to be the driving force of my business, and the swag to be another way I connect with those who want to engage. Plus, my imagery and my art have yet to be showcased. It's all connected. Next is the demand vibe, dominated by giants like Amazon and Shopify. This is a pull sale environment where customers arrive with their wallets out searching for specific items. It relies on efficiency and speed, providing a steady income, with the average seller bringing in around $290,000 annually. But it has inherent costs. It's highly competitive. It can be quite expensive. Finally, there's the discount vibe, like Temu, which captures 24% of cross-border sales. This lane is best for high-volume, low-cost goods. Specialized sites like Etsy offer a different path, serving as a sanctuary for unique, handmade items that aren't forced into a race to the bottom on price, as you see in these discount wholesalers. The biggest mistake is trying to do it all at once. The most successful shops don't spread themselves thin, they pick one lane and master it. By knowing if your customer wants a story, a quick solution, or a bargain, you can meet them exactly where they are. Because of researching this editorial, I think I know my lane, and I think I know what I want from this expansion. True to form, I'm focused on the mind, the story, the art, and the human verified connection behind it all. I have to find the right path for me. For the modern entrepreneur, success is defined by matching your business model to the right platform. If you're a show and tell merchant selling gadgets, TikTok offers a massive viral potential, often through influencer partnerships. If you're a community creator on Instagram or Facebook, you thrive by building personal relationships and closing sales through direct conversation. Storytellers find their home on Etsy, where unique handmade goods allow for higher profit margins because you aren't competing on price. Invisible professionals typically choose Amazon for its reliable logistics, focusing on everyday essentials that encourage repeat purchases. The velocity specialists on platforms like Temu operate on razor-thin margins, surviving by moving thousands of units rather than chasing high profit per item. Widespread advice suggests that ultimately the smartest strategy in 2026 is a hybrid hub-and-spoke approach. You use high-traffic social platforms and marketplaces as your front doors to attract new customers through viral video and viral discovery. Once you have their attention, you drive those customers to a secure, home-based site, such as Shopify. This allows you to capture the immediate, high-speed reach of global giants while simultaneously building a loyal audience that truly values your brand. By focusing on transparency, ethical practices, and genuine connection, you can move beyond just being another destination for a one-time purchase and become an intuitive, helpful layer of your customer's daily life. Do these platforms make money? Succeeding in e-commerce is about balancing your costs, control, and long-term goals. When you sell a product like a $40 gadget, the path you choose fundamentally changes how much money you keep and how much work you have to do. I really want to balance this because my product lines are not the main source of revenue, but I do want to keep that quality, imagination, and connection they provide in the real world. From what I can see, if I'm looking for the fastest route to a sale, TikTok Shop is hard to beat. Because everything happens inside the app, you skip monthly subscriptions and keep your costs low. The catch is that you don't own the customer relationship. You're essentially renting their attention. On the other end of the spectrum, using Shopify to run your own website is the most expensive path because you have to pay to drive your own traffic. However, it is the best way to build actual business equity because you own the customer's data and aren't at the mercy of an algorithm. Many smart sellers use a hybrid approach, like adding a Buy with Prime button to their own website to boost trust and conversion rates, even though it comes with a fee. I'm not sure how much I'm interested in going this route because product sales are not my primary focus. If they were, I would seriously consider this. These platforms are essentially divided into two worlds: social apps and marketplaces. Social platforms like TikTok and Instagram make money through a mix of ad revenue and transaction fees, often using creators as independent sales agents. Marketplaces like Amazon operate as a ready-to-buy destination where they profit through seller subscriptions and their massive fulfillment network, which handles the complex shipping logistics that would be too expensive for most small businesses to manage on their own. All my research shows that for anyone just starting out, you should be careful with monthly subscription fees. If you're selling fewer than 40 items a month, those fixed costs can eat your profit margins alive. It is usually much safer to test your product using a pay-as-you-go model before committing to professional-grade tools. The real secret to lasting in this business is focusing on customer lifetime value, or LTV. Think of platforms like TikTok as a first date. They are excellent for a quick one-time sale, but they don't always build deep loyalty. Owning your own site on Shopify or selling in a dedicated community like Etsy is more of a long-term marriage because you own the direct connection. Those shoppers come back time and time again, which is the holy grail of profitability. To build a business that actually lasts, keep your strategy simple. Pick one home base where your customers hang out and master it before moving on. Don't worry about expensive gear or professional studios. People buy from real people, not faceless corporations. Share your story, be consistent with your posts, and use the free analytic tools every platform provides to stop guessing what works. Above all, talk to your customers. Responding to comments and feedback shows there's a real person behind the screen, and that human connection is the most valuable currency you have. If you focus on being authentic and solving actual problems for your customers, the business will naturally follow. I'm really interested in Swaggifying Human Verified, but there's the whole production and shipping thing to consider. I'm not sure which way to go. Major profit margins are not my focus, but I still want the swag shop to keep funding itself. There's a lot to consider. Running an online shop is a constant balancing act between control, convenience, and profit margins. Because someone isn't holding boxes of inventory, every single transaction becomes a margin game where you have to be precise with your numbers. To stay healthy rather than fragile, one needs to aim for a net profit of 25 to 35% after accounting for printing, shipping, and fees. Anything under 15% is dangerous, as a single return can easily wipe out gains. Internet business gurus suggest that when picking a platform, think of it as choosing your business model. Etsy is the go-to for soul-driven brands. Since shoppers are looking for unique, handmade style items, they are willing to pay more, which helps your bottom line. Just be careful with ads, which can unexpectedly eat into your profit. Shopify is for those who want total control. You own the website, so you keep more profit per sale, but you're 100% responsible for finding your own customers, which usually means spending a significant chunk of your revenue on ads. Amazon, or Merch by Amazon, is the set it and forget it model. They handle the printing, shipping, and customer service, which is great for high volume sales, but your profit per item is much slimmer, and you lose access to your customer data. They say to avoid platforms like Temu if you care about your brand, because they prioritize the absolute lowest price, which makes it nearly impossible to sustain a business based on unique, quality goods. If you're a big business, but not a corporation, looking to grow with massive amounts of products, go for it. This is for you. You have what it takes to operate on slimmer margins, but at higher volumes. But I'm not really any of these options, so I'm thinking of going into a more hybrid, customized model. I'm really interested in using Printify. It's a powerful tool for new businesses because it eliminates the biggest retail risk, upfront inventory costs. I would never have to pay the cost of my products until a customer has already paid and the item or items have shipped. What I like most is that the system is fully automated. Because it connects me to providers worldwide, I can offer a nice sized swag shop without ever touching a box or printing a shipping label. This allows me to spend time on what actually drives revenue, creating designs and connecting with my community. I like this idea. The convenience comes with trade-offs, but they are things I'm kind of okay with. My profit margins would be thinner because I would be paying a premium for someone else to handle production and shipping, and also I'd give up direct control over quality and the unboxing experience. My reputation will be tied to the provider's performance. Plus, since items are made to order, returns are tricky, and shipping multiple items can get complicated if they come from different printers. But there are lots of sites that provide advice on how to handle these issues. Business Insider suggests that I should not launch dozens of swag at once. Instead, use the platform to identify my top 10 best swag ideas. I could keep it simple and then see where I'm at with the whole thing since I've got so many other things going on. I want that connection of a swag nation and the social focus of a Swaggify community, so this seems like it fulfills my interests within my framework. They also say that beyond the platform, you're choosing between 3 core ways to handle your goods. First, print on demand. This is the modern hybrid approach I'm thinking of using with a site like Printify. I create the unique designs, but a third party prints and ships the items for me. If I were to make the shirt myself, I might clear $18, but I pay in time and labor, something I don't really have in abundance. With POD, I might clear $9 and make less per sale, but I'd get my life back because I'm not spending all day at USPS, FedEx, or UPS. Dropshipping. This is built for speed and volume. Someone can list an item and a third party ships it directly to the customers. They never touch the product, which is great for scaling, but they have zero control over quality and margins are razor thin, often just 10 to 15%. They'll spend most of their time acting as marketers, constantly chasing trends and running ads. But like it said up front, if you have volume, you need to move, this can be a great choice for you. Self-fulfillment. This is for the makers and artisans. You pack and ship every order yourself. Because your products are truly unique, you can charge a premium, often netting 50 to 70% profit. The trade-off is a growth ceiling. You can only pack so many boxes before you get burnt out. Whether you choose dropshipping, self-fulfillment, or POD, you win by being clear about your goal. If you want a marketing business, go for high-volume dropshipping. If you want a product business, focus on high-quality, artisanal work. If you need a hybrid approach, consider POD. But I want that human verified touch, so I'm interested in live sessions. The good thing is, the TikTok shop works directly with Printify and everything is linked. I've already started playing with it all and figuring out how it works. I am sticking with 10 designs right now and then keeping the products per design to 2 or 3 so the shop is not too big. I like this idea for me because live shopping sells way better than standard online stores. Sometimes 10 times better. It has that modern mom and pop feel of community. While normal sites see conversion rates of around 2 to 4%, platforms like TikTok Shop often hit 8 to 12% because they turn browsing into a fast, fun experience. It also gives me the ability to connect with my swag nation while we swagify the internet. And it's not too tough to start. I would interact with the products and the swag nation in real time, building trust instantly. Plus, the process is incredibly smooth. The Swag Nation can go from seeing a product to buying it in under a minute. Being able to ask questions during the stream also helps clear up any doubts on the spot. It's not just about shopping, it's about the entertainment, which keeps people engaged. This isn't just for kids either. Millions of shoppers over 35 are now regular participants, and the number of daily streams is skyrocketing. A human-verified Swag Nation is in the works. Stay tuned. What are the biggest risks for small business e-commerce? What all the smart guys say is that product returns are the silent margin killer. Returns don't just cancel a sale, they aggressively eat your profit, burn through your ad budget, and waste your time. When an item is returned, you lose the potential profit, the original shipping costs, and the marketing spent to acquire that customer. And often, the value of the product itself. The risk level depends heavily on the platform. On impulse-driven sites like TikTok Shop, return rates can hit 15%, while international marketplaces like Etsy usually see a more manageable 6%. Drop shipping can be dangerous because international return shipping is so expensive. It's often cheaper to let the customer keep the item and issue a full refund, effectively destroying your margins. But if you handle your own shipping, you can keep the power. You can inspect, repackage, and resell return goods, keeping your losses to a minimum and protecting your bottom line. Remember though, you pay in time and labor if you have that to spare. For me, keeping my swag volume low and not having to invest the time and labor into keeping that control seems better because I don't need those massive profit margins. Success all depends on our goals. Another major warning from the business world is that to grow, many businesses mistakenly pour money into marketing. But this is like pouring gasoline on a fire if your returns are high. The standard rule for small business is to set aside 7 to 12% of yearly revenue for marketing. Digital channels currently dominate this budget, with most shops splitting funds between paid social, Google Ads, CEO, and video production. Email and text marketing remains essential for reaching existing customers without paying for new ads. My marketing will largely focus on that community element of the mom and pop shop, so I'll probably be paying most of the time and labor on live sessions, videos, photos, and posts. But I like those things, so I'm willing to spend my time doing it. The main takeaways. The 2026 e-commerce landscape has transformed from a simple online marketplace into a sophisticated, intelligent ecosystem where success relies on balancing viral discovery with reliable infrastructure. The defining story of the year is the rise of the digital powerhouse, where small businesses leverage global platforms to compete with corporate giants by blending old-school human connection with new age technology. The primary shift in shopping behavior was moved from a search-based model to discovery-based shoppertainment. Platforms like TikTok Shop and Instagram use AI-driven recommendations and live streaming to turn casual scrolling into high-volume impulse purchasing. In contrast, Amazon remains the king of high-intent shopping, serving as the essential logistical machine for customers who know exactly what they need and prioritize speed. For the modern business owner, strategy is defined by the hub and spoke model. You can use an independent platform like Shopify as your central hub to own your customer data and build a long-term brand while using various spokes, such as TikTok for viral reach, Amazon for high-volume sales, or Etsy for niche products, all of which drive new traffic. This hybrid approach ensures you capture the immediate reach of global marketplaces without sacrificing your brand identity. Profitability in this environment is a precise game of managing margins, which are often threatened by the silent killer of product returns. High impulse platforms often see return rates as high as 15%, which can devastate your bottom line if not managed correctly. Therefore, smart operators focus on customer lifetime value rather than just quick one-time sales. Successful businesses maintain a healthy return on ad spending of 3-to-1 to 5-to-1 and allocate about 7 to 12% of revenue to targeted marketing. Ultimately, the core secret to long-term success remains unchanged: building genuine, human-centered relationships. Whether through live shopping to build trust or using AI to reduce expectation gaps, the goal is to create a loyal customer base that chooses your brand intentionally. By mastering one platform at a time and prioritizing the foundation of your business over aggressive, unchecked growth, you can build a sustainable, resilient operation that thrives in the modern digital economy. Tips for small business e-commerce according to business gurus. These are the tips I found particularly helpful in my case, but there are so many more, and I hope this editorial inspires you to seek out more information on your own. They say that starting an e-commerce business in 2026 is less about trying to be everywhere and more about being strategic, disciplined, and authentic. I'm going to focus on getting off the ground, and my first goal will be to build my home base. Once I have my home base, the gurus say to pick one lane and master it. A common trap for beginners is spreading themselves too thin across every available platform, instead choosing a starting point based on what you are actually selling. Stick to one platform until you have a solid routine and a real understanding of your audience before trying to branch out. I think I'm going to go with TikTok Shop and a Printified combo. Comment below and let me know what journey you ventured on. While there are return sale considerations, I like the TikTok Printified combo because I can lean into shoppertainment and build real trust. I feel like the Swag Nation won't want to buy from faceless robots. They'll want that human verified connection, and I can't wait to share my vision. The business dudes say that you don't need a massive ad budget to succeed, and that's great because I'll post videos, etc., but I'm not an ad agency. I'm going to take their advice and focus on my foundation. And although massive corporations can beat me on speed and price, they can't compete with the exciting possibility of a connected, Swaggified nation. Ultimately, they emphasize that your strategy should match your goals. If you want to build a long-term brand, lean into the path using Shopify, Etsy, or Instagram to own your relationships. If you prefer the volume mover path, you can leverage the infrastructure of giants like Amazon, TikTok Shop, or Temu. Amazon is the logistics king, perfect for everyday items if you can handle their fees. TikTok is your best bet for viral, discovery-based sales, while Temu is a high-volume, thin-margin game for wholesalers. Stay focused, keep it simple, and let the human side of your brand lead the way. The bottom line, the story of e-commerce in 2026 is one of returning to our roots through high-tech tools. We've moved past the gold rush phase where just having a website was enough, and now we're in the era where success is about strategy, operational reliability, and most importantly, human connection. Making your e-commerce shop more human. Recreating that old school neighborly feel in a digital world is actually your biggest advantage. Like me, big corporations may focus on speed and algorithms, but we can focus on connection. Based on all those sites and all that advice, I've put together a generic overview of how to make your e-commerce business more human verified. Make sure to do your own research for your own situation, as this is just a very generic overview and should not be taken as all-out advice. The behind-the-scenes welcome. Use video to show your workplace or introduce yourself. When people see the person behind the screen, they aren't just buying a product, they're supporting a person they feel they know. I always check videos on the page, their reels, or their stories of shops I'm thinking of buying from. because I want to know if they are worth my money. As I pointed out at the beginning of this editorial, this is how many customers shop now, and it's something to consider. The shopkeeper approach. Just like the old mom and pop shops who would set aside your favorite item, use email or direct messaging to give your regulars a heads up. Sending a quick, "Hey, I just got these in and thought you might like them," builds massive loyalty. This is especially successful in live sessions where you can see your customers come again and again just to be a part of the experience and see what's new. I'm genuinely doing this with TikTok shop owners in my own FYP. TikTok shop took a lot of my money. And dear God, respond like a human. Skip the robotic copy-paste replies. If someone leaves a comment or sends a message, write back like you're talking to a friend in your shop. It's the digital version of a warm hello at the counter. When someone does this for me, I go back and buy more. If the interaction is cold and lifeless, I move on. It's just how I am. Handwritten touches. If you're shipping physical goods, tuck a small handwritten note into the box. It's a simple, low-cost way to show that you personally packed their order and appreciate their business. Not doing this will be one drawback for my swag shop because I'll be going with POD, but I've had other shops do this with the purchases I make, and I've always found it delightful. Don't swindle me. When someone asks a question, give them your honest expert opinion rather than just pushing the most expensive item. Being the person they can trust for advice makes them much more likely to come back. I hate it when I encounter a snake oil salesman and immediately leave their live and often block them from my FYP forever. Make a connection. People love a good story. Periodically sharing why you started your business or what you're working on helps build that connection. When customers know your mission, they feel like they're part of your journey rather than just a transaction number. This literally happened to me the other day with an artist who does his work on TikTok Lives and then has his online shop linked. He told a great story, and it just made me want to buy a piece I was looking at on the wall behind him because he's talented and I like supporting him. Trust me, connection works. These small intentional acts turn a one-time customer into a regular, which is exactly how those old-fashioned mom-and-pop shops stayed in business for decades. I think I know what I'm going to do, and I'm ready to get my swag shop going. Be on the lookout for the human-verified Swaggify Nation coming soon. Artwork done by me in a pseudo-collaboration with Gemini and Adobe that will yield copyright-protected imagery. Logistics carried out with Printify. I'm going to focus on the TikTok shop at first and maybe a corresponding shop on my website because Printify integrates with Wix, but you never know until you start the process. It's a learning experience, and I hope you'll continue to join me on this journey. Thank you for spending time with me today.